That's what they doing?
I'm so tired of your. Look here, here's your paper. You going next to Ichabod's house, okay?
Oh, they selling husbands now. Okay. All right. So when you get mad, get you your papers.
Okay.
Yeah.
We are back.
Back at
Back with
it.
it. Like a good wig. Like a good wig. Like a good wig. Yeah, like a good wig. And it's back with it. A good wig. You know what a good wig is.
I don't. Jess and May might know what a good wig is.
They don't know who that is. That's
They know.
That probably
It's a
about
couple of videos.
subs back.
Maybe. Okay.
The 10,000 new might not know.
Might not.
And
What we
do
got?
appreciate y'all. All 66,000 of y'all going on 67,000.
Yeah, man.
I
Such a
appreciate
true
y'all.
blessing. Yes.
And we welcome all
Yes.
to the additional 30 some thousand to get this road to 100K.
I can't wait till we have a meetup, guys. It's gonna be nice. Don't know where, don't know when, but maybe this year.
Yep. And I can't wait to put that 100K plaque on right there behind us.
That's
Got a
right.
spot right there next to Bob Marley.
That's right. It's coming.
All right, man. So I saw this up based on the last video I did about slavery, the black slave owners. It said 10 black slave owners. So I didn't see this list. So it's a list of 10
Top
10.
10.
Top, not 10. I'm sorry. Top means
10.
these were the top out of the rest of them.
Exactly. So I'm really interested to learn about this.
Go.
This is so interesting.
That's why I titled this. I put this in the category history you never knew.
That's right.
Because the history kind of wipes this in the books.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of
Wipes it. It's really crystal.
Wipe. There we go.
Yeah. It's
Wipe,
like
wipe.
super duper loud.
Wait a minute.
Let's go.
Red leather, yellow leather. Hey.
Hello and welcome to Twist List. Today we are looking at top 10 black slave owners. The U.S. has a long and gruesome history of slavery that has affected almost every part of its culture. Children in school learn the harsh circumstances that slaves were forced to live with and the incredible cruelty white slave owners showed them. American history teachers know how important it is to teach the horrors of slavery, not only so the mistakes of the past aren't repeated but because the long-term oppression and cruelty toward black people extends even to modern times in important cultural issues such as police brutality and a cycle of poverty that is directly linked to racism caused by slavery. What isn't often taught is that there were many black people who not only participated in the slave trade but who often profited greatly from it. They owned slaves as property in order to enhance their own economical well-being by having free labor for their plantations. Many were biracial children of former white masters and were either freed or were left some property in a will. The American
He said many were biracial children, so these were mixed kids that became slave owners.
Mm-hmm. Well, she just said, or it said land.
It.
AI. Sounds like a woman, though.
No, that is the AI voice. That's that voice you be hearing on shorts and TikTok. Look how much I have made by going here.
Yeah.
South is infamous for using slaves on their large plantations, and many of the black slave owners on this list are from South Carolina and Louisiana. Some were considered slave magnates, for owning more than 50 slaves, but others earned their place simply for their unique stories. At number 10 we have Dilsey Pope. Dilsey Pope was born a free woman, and when she was older, she bought the man she loved in order to marry him. Many state laws at the time would not allow slaves to be emancipated, so it was common for family or spouses to technically own their family. Dilsey owned her own house and land, and she also hired her husband out as labor. What makes this particular situation so unique is that when Dilsey and her husband had a fight, Dilsey sold him to her white neighbor out of spite. While many modern women might
Oh, that's what they doing?
I'm so tired of your. Look here, here's your paper. You going next to Ichabod's house, okay?
Oh, they selling husbands now. Okay. All right. So when you get mad, get you your papers,
Okay.
and I'm gonna sell you down in TJ.
Get your bitch over there and go in with Ichabod's house. Get on. Get.
I never knew
Get out of here.
this.
Get.
Okay. Well, that was messed
Oh,
up.
man, that's real messed up.
Might wish to get rid of their husbands. Dilsey truly takes the cake when it comes to method. Also, like many other spouses, she later felt bad about the argument and tried to reconcile. The only problem was that when she went by her husband back and apologize, her neighbor refused to sell him. 1. The ninth spot on the list is occupied by Jacob Gaskin. Jacob Gaskin was born free only because his mother was a free woman. His father was still a slave at the time of his birth. This was rather common at the time, and the mother eventually wanted to buy Jacob's father so that he would no longer have to work as a slave on a plantation. When Jacob grew older, his mother helped him to buy his father. The family was happy with this arrangement, although the father was technically still their slave until he attempted to do what all parents do, reprimand his son. This is when this story becomes notable. One day, Jacob's father scolded him after Jacob had misbehaved, as any good father would do. Jacob, a petulant, entitled boy, became so angry with his father that he sold him to a New Orleans trader and then later bragged to his friends and colleagues about sending his own father to be a slave on a plantation in Louisiana to learn him some manners. 2. Number 8.
Boy, stop.
Goodness.
Where was the mother?
Where's your mother? Man, he said, you know what? Oh, you want to whoop me, huh? Negro, get out of here. You're going up road.
Dang.
I'm Will Smith's son. I can do what I want. Get out of here. Dad.
Help
That's
him,
terrible.
y'all.
That's horrible.
Yeah, that is horrible.
That's horrible.
How can you sell your parent?
Just like he did, man.
Dang. Wow.
You know what?
What?
It sound like little Billy. I hate you, Mom. I'm gonna sell your ass.
8 on our list is Nat Butler. Nat Butler makes this list for the special type of manipulative cruelty that he showed toward his fellow humans. Butler was one of the worst kinds of slave owners. Not only did he participate in the trade, but he actively tricked slaves into running away so that he could sell them back to their masters. Butler would convince a slave to hide out on his property. Butler would then speak to the slave's owner to find out what the reward was for returning him. If the reward was high, he would simply return the slave for the money. If the price was low, Butler would buy the slave and resell him to slave dealers down south for a profit. 3. He gained a bad reputation in his county for his scheming actions, and many attempted to hurt and even murder him for revenge. At number 7 we have Justice Angel and Mistress Elari. Justice Angel and Mistress Elari were wealthy black masters who each owned 84 slaves, or 168 together.
Oh my God!
I thought it was on the video for a second. I thought it was the video. I was like, dang, that's
how you
weird.
know this thing turned up, boy. Pick it up, boy.
4. They were located in Colleton District, now Charleston County, in South Carolina in 1830. Because most slave owners only had a handful of slaves, Angel and Ari were considered economic elite and were called slave magnates. Slaves were simply...
They had her for the picture.
On the first one,
right,
she was
and
number
somebody
10.
else.
Now she on number 6.
Is this right?
No, I think they something. I guess something's different about this story.
But why they got the same people?
168 together. 4. They were located in Colleton.
It said they were wealthy black slave masters. They had 84 slaves, and together they had 168. But how could he have 168 if he was a slave himself and sold to Ichabod next door? I'm curious.
District, now Charleston County, in South Carolina in 1830. Because most slave owners only had a handful of slaves, Angel and Ari were considered economic elite and were called slave magnates. Slaves were simply labor to Angel and Ari, and they considered them property, hunting down runaway slaves and punishing misbehaving ones. While there is no evidence that they treated their slaves more harshly than other slave owners, they were known to own them strictly for business purposes. They bought, sold, and traded them like property, and misbehaving slaves were punished harshly for interfering with profits. Number 6 on the list is Widow C. Richards and son P. C. Richards. In 1860, slave owners, white or black, owned around 1 to 5 slaves on average. About 28% of the free black population in New Orleans at the time owned slaves, with at least 6 owning 65 or more.
What did the largest selection of TV and appliances got to do with it?
More. C. Richards and her son P.C. go above and beyond these other 6 slave owners by owning over twice as many. The widow and her son operated a large sugar plantation together and owned more slaves than all other black slave owners in Louisiana in 1860, topping off at 152. 5. The 5th spot on the list is occupied by the Pendarvis family. During the 1730s, the Pendarvis family was one of the most prominent in the South, owning the biggest rice plantations in the Palmetto region and over 123 slaves. They dominated Colleton County, now the Charleston area, and became one of the wealthiest slave-holding families in South Carolina.
He look white.
Yeah, she does too. Well, she looked like she could be
Well,
a
I don't
very
know.
fair-skinned woman.
Yeah. He look like Brad, but then he just got dirt on his face at the bottom right now. That's kind of confusing.
Yeah.
I have to look them up. What did it say? The
Pendarvis
family.
Mm-hmm.
What is ironic is that this family of wealthy black slave owners was given their wealth accidentally when a will was created that gave the estate of Joseph Pendarvis to his illegitimate children with his slave, Parthena. 6. Despite the family's own origins, all Pendarvis estates continued to use slave labor as they took over the Palmetto state.